Good morning. All right, so let's go ahead and get this day started. We are, of course, talking about expireds. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's make the most of it. Today and tomorrow is going to basically be the last day that we're going to be doing the expired mastery. So we are going to be moving on to a different source here this next month. So thank you all for being here on time. For those of you that are here joining us from YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, from all the other platforms, as always, I do want to say thank you guys for being here and being here with us this morning. So let's go ahead and get started. If you are in a position where you can come join us over on Zoom, I would encourage you to come join us over here on Zoom. Gives us the opportunity to just simply better interact. And then, Andrea, you can go ahead and forward those messages over to Lizette. I'm sure she'll be joining us here any minute now. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk about with where we had mentioned yesterday, and that was in regards to that of the door knocking. And when we go out and we door knock, when we door knock, we always want to make sure that we are in a ready position. Okay, that ready position, you guys have heard me say this before. What are some of the things? Well, you want to have a car kit. Okay, what is a car kit? You want to have a sales car kit. And in that car kit, you want to be able to have a listing contract. You want to have a purchase contract. You want to have everything in your power and ability to be able to perform your actions and your duties as a realtor, as to with whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Now, I'm not saying to go and knock and then take it with you. You need to leave it in your car. Okay, so you should have all of these things ready. Listing contract, disclosures, purchase contract. I'm talking about printed. Okay, you also want to have pre-qualification. You want to have these things at the ready. And why do you do this? Because you never know. All of a sudden, you knock on that door, like I said, you're going to be in a position where they're going to ask you, "Hey, what can you do to help me? How can you service me? What is it that you do different? What do you do better? What is it that you do?" And next thing you know, you're going to be invited in. You're like, well, I can always just take in my laptop. I can always come back later. It doesn't always work because in that, there is going to be at times technical challenges. There are going to be times where you find yourself in a position that is just not working. You forget your charger. You don't have connectivity. You're just in a position where it doesn't work. So I'm going to encourage you right now as we speak is print out all of these things and have them at the ready. Just put them in a folder, put them in your trunk, and you're going to be there 6 months, a year, 2 years later, and be like, oh shoot, I completely forgot I had that. That's perfectly fine. But you're always going to be in a ready position. Now, when you do go door knocking, let's talk about, as far as that is concerned, you're going to want to make sure you do have a plan of action. Okay, you do want to make sure you have a plan of action. It is important that you have that at the ready. Yesterday, I talked about having a letter. Okay, some of you guys did inquire about that. We did get them over to you. If you're still wanting this information, feel free, send me a DM, and then we'll get that expired letter and basically the plan of action as an example. Now, don't copy and paste. Okay, don't do that because that's simply mine. Just copy it, throw it into chat, and then say, hey, make this my version. Okay, so that way you have your version, and especially the plan of action. I've seen some plan of actions floating around that I'm like, what the heck? This is mine. Okay, and not so much from a plagiarism standpoint, but do you even know what you're committing to in that plan of action? Okay, so Lizette, do you have anything you want to add based on what we're talking about? All right. Well, let's talk about the other thing too. You want to be in a position where, yeah, you do take a clipboard. You want to have something in a sense to write with. And then by having that, when you go and knock on that door, you can take notes, you can do all that other stuff. What you're also going to want to have is you're going to want to have a tablet. Okay, you're going to want to have your tablet. You're going to want to have your computer. Nowadays, we can do hotspot. You can have your computer. But Robert, you just talked about having a sales car kit. Yes, I understand that. But at the same point in time, we also have today's technology. And even though in today's technology, sometimes it doesn't work, that's why you want to have Plan B. Okay, so I want you to be prepared with a Plan B option. Now, yesterday I was talking to a coaching client, and if you're here, awesome, great, welcome. In this, we were talking about a little bit of the what I don't want you guys to do. What I don't want you guys to take is I don't want you guys to take, these elaborate, overly prepared CMA packets to expireds. Now, why do I not want you to do that? I don't want you to do that simply because when you go out there, you prepare all of this stuff and you're going through, you're doing your research, 123 Banana Street. Oh my gosh, this property is beautiful. It's $1.2 million. I'd love to have a listing like this. You prepare all the information, you put together a CMA packet, you do all of these things of an elaboration. You invest 30 minutes to an hour in preparation of this, which costs you money, believe it or not. And then on top of that, you're printing materials, you're doing all this other stuff. You go and knock on the door, you're like, I'm ready. And then they don't answer. And then you leave it at the doorstep. And then when you leave it at the doorstep, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to dissect it. Okay. And as they go through, they're going to dissect it. They're going to go through and they're going to say, what the heck? Um, you know, no way am I going to list this property for $50,000, $100,000 less. And this dude's wanting 6% commission. Hell no, I'm not going to be doing that. No way. No way am I going to be paying this person 6% commission and reducing my price by $50,000, $100,000. They're going to chuck it in the trash. Or maybe they actually give it to their agent that they just expired with. Do not leave a listing packet. If there is a way that you do not want to take listings, that's a way to do it. If you want to waste time, that's a way to do it. Now, it's parallel to that of for sale by owners, the exact same thing. Okay, obviously we're talking about expireds. But with for sale by owners and expireds, don't prepare those listing packets. I get it, I understand, but Robert, I took a listing 7 years ago by doing that. Yes, I get that. I understand. You're talking about the 0.00001%. Yeah, but I heard this one speaker talk about leaving all of this elaborate material. Sure, fine. You're talking about the 0.0001%. Don't do that. Okay, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. You might not necessarily think it is, but if you are, we've talked about breaking down your hourly rate. Let's say, for example, your goal is to make, I don't know, let's say 250,000. Your hourly rate at $250,000 a year, that's $125 an hour. Okay, $125 an hour. Now, at $125 an hour, if you're investing even 30 minutes on this, you're basically investing $60, okay? And then plus the time to commute, plus the time to go there. And then if nobody answers, you're basically investing an hour and a half, okay? So again, I get it. I understand there is that person that took that listing 3, 4, 5 years ago. Or heck, you know what? There is that agent that took 2 listings based on this approach. The problem, though, is that that same agent that took 2 listings last year based on this approach also lost out on the opportunity on 10, 12, 15 other listings because they did a great job of knocking on doors, but they were just sitting there burning a bridge, burning a bridge, burning a bridge. Let's add anything else you want to add? Okay. So I don't know if Lizette disconnected, but all right. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Um, let's talk about the dialing systems. In the dialing systems, whether you're using RedX, you're using Mojo, you're using Vulcan, you're using whatever, you download these numbers. Okay, you're going through, you're getting these phone numbers. Now, there's a folder in there that is absolutely gold. And this was, for me, probably, I don't know, worth about 5 to 10 listings a year for me. And what is this folder? They go through, there's 7 expireds today. You get all the information, it gets sent over to your information. That's a great folder of those 7 properties. But below that, the folder that I'm actually talking about is the expired listings that don't have any phone numbers. There's the property on 123 Banana Street. They're giving it to you in regards to that property is expired. However, yeah, there's no phone number. So what do most agents do? 99% of them, they go through and they go, oh, there's no phone number. I'm not going to call it. Cool. What should we do? Exactly with what I'm talking about. That's the folder you need to go through and print it, especially if it's in your top 3 focal points, your top 2 focal points. Number 1 is your top 3 zip codes, and then number 2 is your top 3 cities. If it's in that, print it out, okay, and then go ahead and go out there and knock on the doors. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you to do that. Yesterday, we also talked about the 2-2-5 approach. Okay, 2-2-5 approach or the 5-5-10 method. What is the 2-2-5 or the 5-5-10? Well, you're going to go out to that expired door. You're going to go to the 2 doors to the right, the 2 doors to the left, and then the 5 across the street. What do we tell them, though? Okay, what you're going to tell them is going to be nothing more. You go into that door, the expired door. I knock on the door. You're going to use the expired script. Hi, my name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm stopping by is because I'm sure you've gotten a lot of calls already regarding your home coming up as an expired. Wanted to see when you're planning to hire the right agent to get your home sold. Okay, cool. Awesome. Now, as far as the neighbor next door, let's say, for example, they're not home or they are home. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go to the house next door, knock on that door, and I'm going to go through. I'm going to say, hi, my name is Robert. I am a local realtor. The reason I'm stopping by is because I'm trying to get a hold of the owner right next door to you, Bob. He's been trying to get his home sold, as you may or may not know, for the last 6 months. And how do I get a hold of him? Yeah, how do I get a hold of him? Okay. So as far as that is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and go into that, and I'm going to do everything in my power to try to get that phone number for Bob. Okay. Now that phone number, as I've mentioned before, it could be it could be a backline number. It could be a business line only number. It could be all of these, in a sense, different things. Okay. Now, in that, let's say, for example, they don't know the next door neighbor. Well, I'm going to turn it over on them. And if it's on them, then basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, well, now that I'm here, I am a local realtor. How about yourself? When are you thinking about making a move? So it gives you the opportunity to maximize every single last option that's out there. Okay. So as I've said before, 2 days, I'm sorry, 2 doors a day will keep the creditors away. You go out there, you knock on the expires, you knock on the FISBOs, two on Monday, two on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you do that 4 weeks out of the month. You're talking about putting yourself in a position of 10 doors a week, 4 weeks, that's 40 doors. I guarantee you, 40 doors you knock on in a month, there's gonna be 10 doors that open. There's gonna be 30 that are not gonna open. Okay, that's just the numbers. I've been there, I've done that, I know exactly my numbers. Okay, for you analyticals, I get it, I understand. Well, last month I did that and I only got 9 people that opened. Whatever. The point is that it's an average of about 10. It's about a 20 or 25% ratio of opening. Now, of those 10 doors that open, there's 3 of them that are going to go on the market in the next 30 days and very likely in the next week. So I have a 30% chance to try to get a listing from knocking on doors in that moment. So what happens with the other 7? Well, there's 3 more which are going to list or relist in the next 90 days. So 6 of the 10 are going to relist in the next 90 days. My job is to capture them. Now, if of those 6, I get the opportunity to set an appointment with 3 of them, if I can get 3 appointments out of those 6 that are going to relist, my listing appointment to listing take-in ratio for expires has always been around 70 to 75%. It's not great, but they're pretty good odds. Okay. I've had some years where I've gotten into the 90s, 92% overall. Of course, a large percentage coming from the database. But with the expires, I go on 4 appointments. I'm going to take 3 listings. And based on what I just said, 6 of them are going to relist. If I can set 3 appointments, I was taking 2 listings a month. January, 2 listings. February, 1 listing. March, 2 listings. April, 1 listing. May, 3 listings. And that would be clockwork. 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 2. And just kind of like that every single month. Now, granted, some days I knock on 2 doors and other times I knock on 5 doors. Okay. So I just want to make sure you guys understand with what it is that I'm trying to share with you here and taking a different approach. Because again, remember, over the phones, awesome, great job. But depending on the market you're in, if you're in LA, you're probably competing with 100 to 200 realtors for that day. Okay, 100 to 200 realtors for that day. But at the door, you may be competing with 2 to 5 realtors. Do you want to compete with 2 to 5, or would you rather compete with, 100 or 200? Okay. So, all right. Any questions? Anything else? Hey, Andrea, I don't know if Lizette's on, but anyways, if she's not on, if you can just forward me any of the messages that are actually showing up on any of the other platforms, I'd appreciate that. Any questions? No, we're good? Okay, awesome. Then that just simply means I'm doing an amazing job. I love that. All right. Now let's talk about quantity. Okay, we're wrapping this up today, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. Let's talk about quantity. Now, as far as quantity is concerned, there are some of you that are, in a sense, there is such a thing as calling too many. You're way too broad. You're investing a lot of time, energy, and effort in regards to calling these expireds. There is such a thing. Okay, let me explain further. Now, ideally, you're going to want to be about 10, no more than about 20 expireds a day. Okay, that's properties. 10, no more than 20 a day. Now, why is this? Okay, now there is going to be an exception, as I've said before. There's expired day and expired day junior. That's on the 1st of every month. That's literally going to be next week, or on the 16th. Okay, expired day, if you're averaging about 8, 10, or 12 on expired day on the 1st, you're probably going to end up getting, I don't know, around 50 to 75 expires on the 1st. Okay, test me. I would encourage you. Now, an expired day junior, if you're getting 8 to 10, you're probably going to get about 20 to 25. You're going to get a little bit of a bump on the 16th. Why is that? It's just simply the way that contracts fall. Okay, that's the way sometimes realtors will actually, finish out the rest of the month. Except for those 2 days. Every other day besides those 2 days is I want you to be in a position where you're getting right around 10 to about 20 expireds. And here's the reason for that. If you have too many, the average phone numbers that you're going to get is about 3 per property. 3 per property. And if you end up getting, let's say, for example, 50 that day, which I know is a lot, it's a little excessive. I'm just trying to use it as an example. But if you get 50 in the day, 3 phone numbers per property, that's 150 phone numbers you're going to dial. It's about 1 minute per phone number. At 150 phone numbers, you're talking about 150 minutes. That's 2.5 hours of going through just that first round. Now, I've talked about calling them 5 rounds. So if I'm going through and I'm starting right where Robert says, right at 7:55, right at 8 o'clock, right on the go, by the time I'm done with that first round, it's probably going to be about 10:30. Remember we talked about competition? Between the hours of 7 and 8, you're competing with 2 to 5 realtors. Between the hours of 8 and 9, you're competing with 25 to 50 realtors. Between the hours of 9 and 10, you're now competing with as many as 40 to 75 realtors. Now, why is this important? If you were to stack them up, property number 1, phone number 1, 2, and 3. Property number 2, phone number 4, 5, and 6. And you just go all the way down the list. And if you have 50 properties, by the time you dial all the way through, it's going to be 10, 10, 30. All that resistance is all you're getting. Okay, you're getting a lot of resistance. And let's say, for example, the properties that you do want is number 25, number 30, number 40, and number 50. By the time you get to number 40 and 50, you're dialing one time at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Does that make sense? So I want you to be in a position where you're calling them on time, you're calling them early, you're going through, you're narrowing it down. Now, if you get it down to 10 properties, okay, if you get it down to about 10 properties, three phone numbers per, that's 30 phone numbers. 10 properties, 3 phone numbers per property. That's 30 phone numbers. It's going to take you about 30 to 45 minutes in that first round, which is perfect. That's where you want to be at. Because as soon as you're done with that, you're going to go back and call that second round. In that second round, now you're dialing them a second time around 8:30, 8:40, 8:45. You still have that nice meat of time. Okay? And that's what we're trying to accomplish. And that's why this is important. Now, as far as the contacts per hour, let's talk a little bit about that because that is important that we understand this. Contacts per hour, you're probably going to be between 8 to 10, okay, depending on the market, between the hours of 7 and 8. You're going to be between 6 to 8 contacts an hour between 8 and 9. Between the hours of 9 and 10, you're probably getting about 4 contacts to maybe 6 contacts an hour between that 9 and 10. So what I'm trying to get at, the early bird gets the worm. You have to dial early. You have to call them and get it right out the gate. Okay. Any questions? Anything else that I can actually go through?
Robert, good morning.
Good morning.
This is regarding the calls, right? I mean, like when I'm getting the everyday's expires,
Yeah.
I am getting very less expires than cancel and withdraw.
Ask that one more time. One more time, please.
I'm getting those only cancel and withdraws.
Okay.
Expires are very 1 or 2 there. How
Okay.
do you call the cancel?
Yes. So there we go. So that's basically the second half what I was going to get to. So in that, if you're not getting 10, you have to look at with what are the parameters you're putting. So you might have to expand your search. You might have to go in terms of radius. You might have limitations, whether it's too low of a price. Maybe you're only calling single family residents and maybe you look at multifamily. Okay. So you want to look at the search criteria that you're building, and you might have to go a little bit further out. So that's the one thing I would encourage you to look at.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Now, in this,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Now, in this, there are going to be times. There's some good friends of mine that we used to prospect together. There would be one person that would service all of West LA. There'd be another person that would service most of San Diego, and then I would take care of the Inland Empire. And then I would be like, "Dang, the market is strong. There's not a lot of expires. There's only two or three that are showing up. Let me broaden the search." And I would go out to about 45 minutes. But what I'd also do is in calling West LA. As I'm calling West LA, I end up setting an appointment. I'm like, oh shoot, there's no way I'm going to go all the way to West LA. That's literally about 45 minutes away, and forget about it. By the time I come back, sitting in traffic for almost 2 hours, no way am I going to invest, 3 hours of my time on this listing. Instead, I'd go call my buddy Frank. Frank, hey, what's up, man? Hey, I got this listing appointment set up for 3 o'clock. You want to take it? And we would just reciprocate business like this. Okay. So this would help because it would give us the opportunity to be able to further our reach, set up appointments. Sometimes we'd co-list it depending on the property, and other times we're like, don't worry about it. You take care of it, just give me a referral fee. And then we'd give each other a hefty referral fee for setting up the appointment. So think about it from that perspective as well. Okay. Anything else? I don't know if Lizette ever ended up joining. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add, Lizette.
Hey, Robert, I have a question. Have you heard of enzodialer.com?
Enzo, absolutely. My buddy Angel, this is a good friend of mine. If you guys want more information about Enzo, I'll be more than happy to send you guys a discount code. What is Enzo Dialer? Thank you, Sandy. It's not a plug, but you asked. So as far as Enzo Dialer is concerned, basically with what it is, the average phone dialing system is going to dial between 1 to 3 lines. 1 to 3 lines at a time. What Enzo does, I don't know if they've actually maximized it or they've gotten even further. They dial as many as 14 lines basically at a time. Now, we have to remember the DNC do not call law came into effect simply because of the fact that there was all these auto dialing systems. I mean, we get it all the time, the spam, all this other stuff. Okay. They found a way to actually overcome that. Okay. But here's my recommendation, Sandy. Okay. Enzo Dialer is great. It's phenomenal. I wouldn't quite take that approach though with expireds. And the reason for that is because with Enzo Dialer, there's kind of like this half-second delay. And that half-second delay, nothing against it. It's a great setup. I don't want to speak from a negative standpoint. But for me, with my coaching clients that do use Enzo Dialer, I tell them not to use it for expireds or FISBOs. And the reason for that is that little half-second delay, unfortunately, is enough to where you end up getting more hangups than you get, pickups. Okay.
So is that on top of like a Mojo plan, or is this a
No,
separate, its own thing?
no, it's completely its own thing.
Okay.
So what Enzo Dialer is, it's just a dialer. The where Enzo is different than Mojo. Mojo has a database and a dialer.
Okay.
That's what Mojo does. Now, as far as Enzo is concerned, they don't provide the data. They only provide the capabilities to dial the phone. So you have to go into a system like Vulcan or RedX or Mojo, download the database, and then upload it into Enzo because
Mhm.
all it does is just do the dialing for you. Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, I have a call with them, and I just thought I wanted to hear your perspective. Thank you.
Yeah, so in this, it's a great system though. Again, I promote the system. Now it's a great system if you're going through and you're calling, for example, like just listed, just sold, you're calling absentee owners, you're calling massive amounts of like areas.
Mhm.
That's perfect because in that you're going to probably average between 12 to maybe as much as 16 contacts an hour, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And they've even gotten as many as 25 contacts an hour. I think that's a little bit much. So you want to be about right around 12 to 14 contacts if you can get there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Anything else? Anyone else? No? All right. Well, anyways, as far as that is concerned, we're going to go ahead and save some time. I will see you guys basically tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to be doing same thing. We're going to go ahead and finish this thing up. And again, if you guys want more information about Enzo, you guys are welcome to send me a DM. I'll get you guys a discount code. And then also, if you guys want more information about Vulcan, the dialing system, I'll get you a discount code for that as well. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys on tomorrow, 7:30, bright and early. Go take a listing or five, and I'll see you guys then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.